Good morning students, welcome to the English online class. Today we will begin with the third chapter in our grammar book, that is the noun. Okay. So what are the nouns? A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, idea or quality. For example, girl, boy, city, David, truth, goat, honesty, table. These are the examples of the noun. What are the nouns? I am repeating it for you. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, idea or quality. Your name, my name, or the things around you, or the things around me, the places that you visit, the places that I visit, the place that I am here right now. So that is the noun. Okay. Now, how many types of nouns are there? There are 4 types of nouns: proper noun, common noun, collective noun, abstract noun. There is a material noun also and concrete noun also, but they are not in your course, but these 4 nouns are the base of all the nouns. Okay. So, how many types of nouns are there? The basic nouns are proper nouns, common nouns, collective nouns and abstract nouns. Okay. So, first let us understand about the common noun and the proper noun. What are the common nouns? Girl, boy, man, woman and place, city or state, country. These are the common nouns, the things to whom we generally refer as. Okay. Now, what are the proper nouns? Proper nouns are those nouns that are having a specific name. For example, name of a city, name of a girl, name of a boy or name of a thing. Okay, so those are the proper nouns. Okay, so common nouns are people, places, things or animals. Now, proper nouns are the name of those things, name of those animals or name of the birds or the people. Okay. Proper nouns name a specific person, place or thing. Days of the week, months and holidays. Okay. Days of the week also, months also and the holidays also are referred as the proper noun. Okay. So, I hope that you have well understood about the common noun and the proper noun. Now, there is a collective noun. You know, you are, for example, you are having too many coins or you are having too many flowers or you are having too much of the photographs. Okay. And if you want to make a collection of it and then you name it something. For example, if you are having lots of flowers, you would collect it, you would form a group and you would name it bouquet. Okay, and you are having photographs, so many photographs, and so what you would do, you would collect it and paste it in a scrapbook or you would just laminate it in a cover, and what you would call it, you would call it an album. Okay, so that is the collective noun. One word that names a group of people, animal or things. One word that names the group of people, animals or things are known as the collective noun. An army of soldiers, a team of ducks, a bunch of keys. Okay. So, dear students, when there is a group of people or when there is a group of animals or when there is a group of bird or when there is a group of certain things, so those things will be known as the collective noun. Now, what do we call the group of soldiers? We call the group of soldiers as army. Okay. Now, what do we call the group of the ducks? We call them by the word team. Okay. And what do we call the collection of the keys? We do call it as a bunch of the keys. Okay. So, now let us move forward. I hope that you all have well understood common noun, proper noun and collective noun. Now, abstract noun. An abstract noun is a noun that cannot be perceived using one of the 5 senses. We cannot see the abstract noun, we cannot taste the abstract noun, or we cannot touch the abstract noun, we cannot smell the abstract noun, we cannot hear the abstract noun. Means abstract noun are those nouns where the 5 senses of ours are not working, or I would say that they do not have any use when we are talking about the abstract nouns. Okay. So, abstract noun can be felt, it can be understood, it can be felt within the we can have the emotions, we can have the feelings. Okay. So, those are the abstract nouns. Okay. Or we can perceive it, we can have a perception in our mind regarding that. So those are the abstract nouns. For example, childhood, favorite, bravery, anger. These are the abstract noun. We can call it that an idea or a feeling are the abstract noun. Okay. So dear students, we are done with the 4 types of noun. Now let's move on to understanding gender in the noun. Gender is also one of the most important part of the noun. So how many genders are there? There are 4 kinds of gender: masculine, feminine, common and neuter. Now masculine gender refers to a male person or a male animal, okay, and feminine gender refers to a female person or a female animal. Common gender refers to the common gender refers to the people that cannot be distinguished as a male or female, or I would say that they are both identified as the same. Okay, the words that are commonly used for both male and female are the common nouns. Neuter gender refers to the things that are non-living things, okay, and we cannot distinguish them or we cannot identify them as a male or female, okay. So the examples are in front of you: masculine, king, boy, father, lion, monk, dog. Feminine, queen, girl, mother, bride, nun, cat. Common, doctor, cousin, reporter. Neuter, pen, chair, computer, sun or the ocean. Okay, so these are the neuter genders. Common genders that are used both for the male and the female. Okay, now doctor can be a girl also, it can be a boy also. Okay, now cousin can be a girl also, it can be a boy also. Okay, reporter can be a girl also, it can be a boy also. Okay, so these are the examples of the common nouns. So now let's move forward. Now let's move on to understand countable and the uncountable nouns. See, as the word suggests, countable noun and the uncountable noun. Countable nouns are those nouns that can be counted. Okay, countable nouns are those nouns that can be counted. They have a singular and a plural form. Okay, and what are the uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns are those nouns that cannot be counted. Okay, they do not have a plural form. Okay, now countable nouns which can be counted as I told you. Example: an apple, a school, one picture, two pictures, etc. Can take singular or plural verbs. Now when we are talking about the countable nouns, then we can place singular or plural verbs also. There is a book on the table. Those houses are very big, aren't they? Now as I told you that the verbs also tell us that whether the noun is singular or plural. How? As you can see, is the verb and are is also the verb. Now are is the plural and is the singular. Okay. Now uncountable noun which cannot be counted. Example: sugar, information, water, understanding, etc. See, uncountable nouns are those nouns that cannot be counted. We can tell about their certain quantity, we can tell about their certain measure, but we cannot count them. Okay. Now we do not have this much of time, even though we have, still we cannot count the granules of the sugar. Okay, we cannot count information. We can exclaim about some of the nouns, though if we are not able to tell the quantity, then we can exclaim about some of the nouns. For example, information, understanding are the words that can be exclaimed about. Okay, but we cannot measure them or we cannot count them. Okay, so now always take singular verbs. There is some water in that pitcher. Okay, now see, when we are talking about the uncountable nouns, then in the uncountable nouns always is will be used. Is the singular, is the verb, auxiliary verb, and it will be used as the singular only. The uncountable nouns is the only auxiliary verb that will be used. Okay. So I hope that you all have understood countable and the uncountable nouns. Okay, now let's move forward to understand about nominative case, accusative case and possessive case. I hope that you all have thoroughly read and you have thoroughly understood the subject and the predicate, because if you have well learned the subject and the predicate, then it would be easy for you to understand the nominative case and the accusative case and the possessive case. Possessive case I shared with you in the punctuation and capital letters also about placing the apostrophe. Okay, but first let's start with the nominative case. When a noun or a pronoun is used as the subject of a verb, it is said to be in the nominative case. Harry ate ice cream, the horse kicked the boy, Naira threw a stone. Here Harry, horse and Naira are the subject of the verbs. As you can see that Harry and the horse Naira are the subjects in the sentence. Okay. So if a sentence is referring to the noun or pronoun as the subject, okay, then it will be the nominative case or the subjective case. Nominative case is also known as subjective case. Okay. So Naira are the subject of the verbs ate, kicked and threw. Okay. So what are these? These are the verbs. Okay. These are the verbs. Now let's move on to accusative case. When a noun or pronoun is used as the object of a verb, it is said to be in the accusative case. When we were learning the sentences, at that time I told you that in this chapter the only topic of the talk is the subject and the predicate, but we are not announced or we are not introduced with the objective case. Okay. So what is the accusative case is also known as objective case. Okay. So when a noun or pronoun is used as the object of a verb, it is said to be in the accusative case. जब आप noun or pronoun को as an object use ले रहे हो sentence में, तब आप उसको accusative case या objective case कहोगे. Okay. So Harry ate ice cream. Ice cream is the object. The horse kicked the boy. The boy is the object here. The horse is the subject, and what did he do? He kicked the boy. So boy is the object. To which object the horse kicked? He kicked the boy. Okay. Naira is the subject, threw a stone. Stone is the object. So here ice cream, boy and stone are the objects of verbs ate, kicked and threw. Okay. So these are the objects of the verbs. Okay, I am sorry, these are the verbs, and the boy, stone and ice cream are the object of these verbs. Now possessive case is very simple. As I told you that when we were learning punctuation and capital letters, at that time I taught you how to use the apostrophe to show the possession. So the possessive case is just regarding that. When a noun or pronoun shows possession, it is said to be in the possessive case. Shirley's bag is on the table. The dog bit the cat's tail. The king's crown. As you can see that there is the apostrophe, okay, which is showing the possession. Okay, so here Shirley's, cats and kings, apostrophe, and then s. So these are showing the possession or the ownership. So we are done with the chapter noun also today, and we will further discuss about this in our live classes. So I hope that you have well understood this chapter. Just revise it at your home and practice it. Okay. So thank you very much and have a great day ahead.